Huaqahuinga Malian Raposa wa yuhtun Malian nickname kaka Qulichaq agayak jungaoyak ajitmok agayak Raposa Unam qalamchiqataqta Liramuk Athabaskan Shack Cash Anachoh grandma kaka atama ataklugu nuna pichoh miunguluta tamani yuhpailigma biugunakok anachoh Ligamunan luni uksumi naqnak aqfat linilga luqhuyaгаnak janak frozen foods tamakunak aqfat lilga makut nutanut tlhit nunam kallamak wal bisuqyallaqmagnan naqnaluki utjunani hoqitjunani haulang kaallu toi paqtlina matn hoqtangha agauqallinilga llirami qullini agaaqallrullinilga natjaanlu atkon atkon natjaanak taumkhani atkon natjaanaggaartliniluni taum majorvim iqqoonun toi umiok laqatamana toten ateriluki iqnaatingillait attauteqnakmin aanatsoormak atiillinnaat huulliitaali mikilnguluni nat paltuugan natsaakun talitoten agaaqalliniluni katsarlugu majuoqallraani tamani tamakut lliirat attupaalallruut ungungsinun majuqastiiganaatang illaitungungsiit taunarrani majorvik laaduraaq afqaqaaqami kinamajortiigataqluni toolla maanihwani NHCmi Kani Village Saitani Athabaskan Saitami tauna kiimi wiittoon lliraq kiimi tauna wiitallartoq toi tauna huinga favorite taqlaaqqa aanatsoormak remindallaanga taum lliiram taqanqairilallrukuuma tammaani taqanqaillruyaallikka umiaqlugu mannaqqanamtak 9 years old taqalot tammaani yuunqillruq iigmi wiitallamni aataka tuyyullruq iigmunnaajagtsluuta amai iigmi qunngoowiitalallra paqtunqamkul paqtuunaku tahuam aanatsoor una iqfatulluuq iqfarvigminun aatamnun ayyautstaqluni ayagnari qatarlukuuna aanatsoq aggiarnaartuq yaaqfakin aquulaiqtaarluni mallerugnik 5-gallon bucket taaganik tuumaarluni aquulaiqtaarluni atraraqluni iqfaqtaarluni aatamat tanghaqaamiu ullakiluku aqfannauqai taukut iqfallri tikitaqaami angiamun muiqqaaraqlutin qaillunlu kiiqarmi iqfaalallruutukaaluni kiimillumi muiringaataqluni mallerugnik 5-gallon orkutangtot pakkettaat kassatun kingookun mumilltingnaqnaaluukuhuaniwa qalamtisqngatngaa aanatsoormak huaniwa qalamtiunga toolkassatun My name is Malian Raposa. I don't like to speak English since Yupik is my first language. English is foreign to me, but I do my best. This story is about my grandmother, and she left us with an event that happened with Athabascan cash that we had, that we used here on the village sites. That cash it's not the same cash, but the cash that I'm referring to is on the Athabascan site here at ANHC. That is my favorite spot because it always reminds me of my grandmother. So this happened before I was born. My grandmother was going to the cache to get some food, some frozen filleted dried pikefish and whitefish, and possibly some other frozen foods or some that dried foods from the winter that they put away in the summer for winter use. The hunters had finally come home, and they were hungry, and she was going to feed them, so she went out to get the food from the cache. She took a while, she took a long time to come back. So one of the grandchildren went out to check to see what was taking so long, and when they went out to go check on her, they found her hanging off the ladder. The winter parka that she was using had saved her from falling all the way down from the winter cache, and they found her hanging, free hanging from the ladder. The winter parka hood got caught on the ladder, the edge of the ladder, on the top end. That's what saved her. So a lot of her children's kids, when I was very young, used to tell that story of how they found her like that, just free hanging there, and they don't know how long she was hanging there, but they generally giggled and laughed thinking of her. So my grandmother used to go out, the last I remembered was go out and pick berries. She would have my dad, her son, bring her to her favorite picking berry spot, and she would disappear with 2 empty buckets way out, somewhere out there in the tundra. And when she was arriving, we could see her coming down. She's walking, carrying the buckets, and then she would stop and pick some more. When she got about a mile or half a mile, my dad would go every time. This happened every summer. My dad would go meet her, and when he came back to put the buckets in the boat, those buckets would be full. Those were the big 5-gallon buckets. And I don't know how she did it. She picked berries so fast, and I was too small to even go with her that far. However far it took her, she must have hit a lot of them, because she would fill those berries up really fast. So that story I told, I'm the youngest in the family, so I may not be telling it exactly how it was told by her grandchildren. And it would be nice to hear it again, although her grandchildren are mostly gone now. And my family tree is growing. It grew and grew. It's still growing. So I hope that this family story will be passed down. It may change a little bit, but as long as it's about my grandmother, that's what matters. There are people in the village that are named after my grandmother, and one child that was named after my grandmother, the same thing happened to her when she was very small. So that's the story that makes everybody smile when it is told. And it is told in Yupik, in my language. If you hear it and understand my language, I think that you would be laughing off your chair. So thank you for listening.